On today's show, we head over to Germany and the Hockenheim circuit as the Hankook 24-hour series rolls forward with the fourth round of 2022, the Hockenheim 12-hour. Then we catch up on the latest news and events in FIA-sanctioned motorsport around the globe with the latest episode of FIA Pure Motorsport. And later in the show, we head over to the Netherlands and the iconic Assen circuit as we bring you round 2 of the FIM Sidecar World Championship. This is Speed Week.
Hello everybody, I'm John Hindhaugh and it's welcome back to the 24-hour series powered by Hankook. We're already at the 4th race of the season. This time the drivers have another big challenge ahead of them. We're at the world famous Hockenheim Ring in Germany. The grid is open to passionate amateur drivers as well as top-class professional racers. They'll be racing bumper to bumper, they're all in it together and share the same challenges. It's a unique atmosphere, and the diverse range of skills and personalities make this series so special.
The special thing about the race series is it's very nice here with other peoples, with other teams. You can go wherever you want to talk to teams, and it's very friendly condition here. Also the Creventic team, they're perfectly organized, and yeah, that's why we're racing here.
The Creventic series is a very unique series, and you need also to anticipate the Code 60, of course, what everyone does, and also the refueling is the own part of it, and to plan in advance for the end of the race is sometimes not so easy, because if you have a Code 60 which you're not expecting, or if you wait for Code 60 which not happen, then it's quite entertaining and quite unique.
Well, it's our first year in the 24-hour series, but we did already the whole calendar. We did Dubai, we did Mugello, we did Spa. So we did have already quite some experience in the 24-hour series. I'm enjoying it very much because it's endurance racing, which I like the most.
The good thing about Creventic is that it's an easy to grasp, easy to get racing series, very friendly, family atmosphere, it's very easy to race here. There's good competition and a variety of cars. We race against each other, which is a lot of fun.
A great feeling of camaraderie in the paddock that will of course disappear once the green flag is shown. A level playing field on the track is guaranteed by 2 different divisions, GT and TCE, 8 different classes within. The track, the Hockenheim Ring. Just the word makes a motorsport fan's pulse beat faster. The German town of Hockenheim has become synonymous with motor racing thanks to the famous circuit, which down the years has transformed from a high-speed blast through the forest to a thoroughly modern autodrome. Originally built as a test circuit back in 1932, it's now one of the best-known racetracks in Germany and around the world.
I think the most challenging part will be for everybody here the third sector, the stadium section, because it's very narrow. The speed in cars is there's quite a lot of difference between them, so you have to be, it will be critical to have some good positioning over there.
I think here, especially in Hockenheim, is the Autodrome, the very special part of the track. It's in the last sector where you can have good overtakes in the inside, the corners, but also have to look in the mirrors, especially at the first laps of the race.
The most challenging part will be the infield, beginning with the entry to the Motodrome and the Sachskurve. So there, a lot of things can happen, a lot of overtaking, and a lot of mistakes will happen.
Oh well, Hockenheim is a very old-fashioned circuit, and it's very unique.
Unique and challenging. Let's take a look at the track. Straight after the start, all the drivers will face the first big challenge, the Nord Curve. Really threading an eye of a needle through here, and it's not as easy to get as many cars side by side through there as you think. Then it's on to the first hard braking point and overtaking opportunity, the Einfahrt Parabolica. Next up, the Parabolica itself. This is a long stretch and you're flat out through here, reaching speeds of 280 kilometers an hour or 175 miles an hour before it's hard on the brakes, down through the gearbox and into the Spitzkehr, which is the right-handed hairpin. Fabulous sector of track, fast, and by far the best overtaking opportunity on the circuit. Out of the hairpin, back on the throttle, leading to turn 8 and 9, the Mercedes-Benz Arena section, up to 250 kilometers an hour and then down to 120. Another perfect point for overtaking or maybe for a counter-attack. Turn 10 and the following 11 Mobile 1 curve, taking the drivers back towards the Motordrome section of the circuit. Seen as the most difficult section of the track, around about 200 kilometers an hour, 120 miles an hour, no runoff zone at the exit. Anyone goes a little bit too quickly into here, you'll fly off the track. Next up, the Sachs curve, heavy braking again, a couple of downshifts. It's banked, it's left-handed, it's 180 degrees. Always a very technical turn, you can lose or gain time here. After the Sachs curve, a left-right chicane, but it's quick through there to set up for the Sud curve. A very fast double right-handed corner that brings you back onto the start-finish straight. 4.574 kilometers, 16 corners or 2.8 miles, long high-speed straight, technical, demanding infield section. That's the Hockenheimring. As always, the first competitive showdown at the race weekend is the qualifying session. 3 parts, 15 minutes each, 3 drivers per team, pushing the cars to the limit to put down the fastest time on the tarmac. Best lap per driver counts, and then the team with the fastest average time is on pole position in their class or division. Both divisions, GT and TCE, are on track at the same time, so there'll be a lot of traffic and it won't be easy to get a clean lap. TCE qualifying first, and in third, it's a team well known to the 24-hour series, Wolf Power Racing with the 116 Audi. For the first time this season, the all-Thai team BBR, the 159 Cupra, not on pole position. This is a new experience for the guys from Asia. Almost 4 seconds slower in the first part of qualifying, couldn't make it up in the second and third 15-minute sessions. They'll have to be content with second place today. So after 3 consecutive pole positions in the first 3 races for the BBR Cupra, they are replaced in P1 by the Lestrup Racing team, who put down the fastest average lap time. The Swedish squad in their Audi RS3 LMS TCR, the number 120, took pole position by just 0.4 of a second.
Yeah, I mean, I have a good team behind me. I mean, it's a new car for the whole team, so we're still learning a lot, and it was a good quali. Still, I feel not too confident in the car yet, so we still have a lot to work on.
In the GT division, 3rd place for the American endurance racing veterans of CP Racing, only 0.17 of a second behind second. And nevertheless, a good starting place for tomorrow's race, and they know that an endurance race is not won in qualifying. Just before the end of the qualifying session, Car Collection Motorsport, the number 34 Audi, in the lead on the averages. Young gun Max Edelhoff showing his outstanding skills. He puts down the 2nd fastest time of anyone. Will this be enough to grab the coveted pole position? But wait, Julius Gelzinis in the Jutta Racing Audi is still on a final quick lap. He could snatch pole right at the final minute from Car Collection Motorsport. Tensions rising. He is flat out. Last couple of corners, and it was really close. What a showdown. In the end, Gelzinis is down by 0.2 of a second. So pole position then for Car Collection Motorsport ahead of Jutta Racing. Both of the Audi R8 LMS GT3s set up perfectly for this technical track at Hockenheim.
Yeah, it was very good. I think it was a teamwork decision what we make as P1. Yeah, the other guys were also on a good run. It wasn't easy with the Code 60, but at the end we are very happy.
In the 992 class, where all the teams drive Porsche 911 GT3 Cup cars, is another Hart-Ford pole position. After 45 minutes of qualifying, the top three are all within half a second. In third, the Dutch Breukers family for RedCamelJordan.nl. They were probably hoping for a better result for a birthday present for Rick Breukers' 24th this weekend. 62 hundredths of a second faster, the number 905 Plus Line Racing team. Consistent lap times, all under 1 minute 46. They've secured second place. So the best team in the 992 class, a second family squad, the Belgian Red Ant Racing team with the number 903. Bert Redont and his sons Ayrton and Yannick certainly up for a victory tomorrow. Another exciting and competitive class, which we have to keep our eyes on here at Hockenheim, is GTX. Second place, the Lithuanian RD Science team in the number 710. Lamborghini Huracan Super Trofeo. And pole position in GTX to the second Lamborghini on the grid, the number 720 of Lippert Motorsport. A lot still to happen in this class, in this race. Let's wait and see what goes on. Race day, and the smell of high-octane fuel is mixed with nervous energy as the drivers get ready for the first 6 hours. Nothing like it to get a petrol head's heart beating faster.
Yeah, it's always a pleasure to drive in these sunny conditions. Yesterday qualifying was very good for us, and it's a 12-hour race. I think our next step is to have a clean start and see what we are up to next.
That sounds so easy, but what does the second position Jutta Racing team have in mind?
The goal is just to stay on track, to keep the pace, not to do something crazy in the first out laps, and we're just focusing to stay up and to finish the race.
Very smart, very simple. The motto of an endurance race is if you want to finish first you have to finish. But what about the high temperatures today?
No, obviously being from Florida, we're used to it. All my German compatriots here say, "Man, it's very hot, very hot." No, this is nothing. So, obviously it with the front engine car, it gets a little hotter, but we're prepared.
It's not the heat that's causing problems for Porsche Lorient Racing. They've had to patch up their entire car after an accident in qualifying.
The mechanics works all night to fix it, and now it's a good car.
Despite the challenges, perhaps because of them, the drivers love the 24-hour series and come back again and again.
It's very accessible. It's easy to come here. It's like a family. It's good racing, a lot of different classes, which makes it interesting. Different speed of cars. You have to be careful what you do, but you still can really, for a comparably good budget, you can do real racing.
And of course, a real racer always wants to win.
I mean, this is a long distance race, as everybody knows. You don't win it in the first corner, you win it tomorrow evening. But anyway, we are all racers, and everybody will be pushing. I mean, let's be serious. They are GT3, I'm a GTX. I can struggle them a little bit, but in the end, they are the faster cars. But we are happy to be in pole here.
Here's the GT start grid then. 2 Audis, pole sitting, Car Collection Motorsport and Jutta Racing on row 1. Behind them on the second row, CP Racing and Lippert. 5th and 6th goes to Plus Line and Phoenix. And on the 4th row, the 2 992 Cup cars of Red Ant Racing and RedCamelJordans.nl. And on the TCE division pole, it is Swedish Lestrup Racing ahead of BBR and Wolf Power Racing in 3rd. Start of the warm-up lap, moments away from the start itself. Now, if you're a gentleman driver or a seasoned professional, the green flag means huge excitement and butterflies in the stomach. 2 days of racing, 12 demanding hours to go. Every 10th of a second counts. Tension rising, coming onto the start-finish straight. You don't want to mess up at the start. This would mean you being mired in the traffic. Coming to the red lights, they're off, the race is on, flat out towards the first corner. Max Edelhoff for Car Collection Audi on the inside, successfully defends the first attack from Julius Adamavicius of Jutta Racing, battling all the way down through the field. Coming up to turn 2, Lippert Motorsport looking for 3rd position, goes round the outside of CP Racing and takes that 3rd spot. It's a conservative start for the black and yellow Audi. The Phoenix team car avoiding any incidents early on. This ambitious German team will be pleased to see that car is unscathed at this point. Coming down to the hairpin for the first time. Everybody playing quite nicely, actually. Being calm. You don't want to go around on the first lap. That can make things very difficult for the remaining 12 hours of the race. Everything going well so far. It's been a great start for young Max Edelhoff. He is already 4 seconds up the road from the pack. Kantasak Kasiri of Team BBR in the TCE category is in full attack mode. Second place in qualifying, gets up the inside of Andreas Bachmann for Lestrup Racing. Does he get down the inside? He does, he's nosed ahead. Oh, now they're used to being in this position. P1 in TCE. Birthday boy Rick Breukers in the orange and black 909-992 Cup car, putting pressure on Terting. That's a battle for the lead of the category. In behind them, not in the same class as the GR Motorsports BMW, and he's putting pressure on Rick as well. So Breukers has gone past Terting, and the JR Motorsports BMW, the super powerful GT3 car, has passed them both into 4th position. Second position at the moment for Charles Espelab in the Mercedes-AMG GT3 from CP Racing. It's taken him just 3 laps to overtake Leipert and Jutta Racing. Not one of the youngest drivers anymore, but still one of the fastest. 4th, 5th and 6th having a battle. That's Lamborghini versus BMW and Porsche. 3 different classes, GTX, GT3 and 992. Tim Miller does not need to be fighting these cars behind them. Slips out to the left-hand side. Baz Schouten and Rick Breukers say thank you and go through. Incident between the only GT4 car in the race, the Manijack AMG number 412, and Wolfpaar's number 116. Looks like the Manijack AMG's moving again. Oh, fire on the Audi of Wolfpaar. Oh, that's their race over really before it got started. Code 60, 17 minutes into the race. It's a virtual safety car, effectively. 60 kilometres an hour speed limit around the track, so the marshals can get into action and deal with the recovery. No overtaking allowed, but the pits stay open, and the leaders make use of this. Edelhoff, as well as the other top teams, coming into the pits for a first stop in this race, and that will include refuelling. Strategy king in this 12-hour race. Another incident at the same corner as we saw earlier. The bad luck has struck the French Vortex team this time. Not for the first time this season, they're in trouble. Pretty much at every race they've had mechanical issues, crashes, and Hockenheim is no exception. Different challenge this weekend for Team Holmgaard. After their victory in Spa, they bought a brand new car, Cupra Leon Competition TCR. Yesterday, they decided in qualifying not to go for a qualifying setup. They ran it on long distance mode.
We wanted an Audi, but it's difficult to get cars now because of everything, the situation in the world. And then suddenly a guy called me that he had a brand new Cupra that he has bought for another customer, and that customer didn't want it anyway. So I got 10 minutes to decide, do I want the Cupra or not? So I said, okay, let's go. Let's take the Cupra. And also we could see in Dubai and Mugello, Cupra was race winner and very fast. So we said, okay, let's go. But plenty of work for us now because the car is brand new, first race. A lot of things we couldn't prepare because we don't know the car yet.
What's left of the Wolfpaar Racing Audi back in the pits. Spa last time out was disappointing for this experienced team, and it's not gone well for them here at Hockenheim.
Yeah, I was just behind the GT4, who made a big gap between my class colleagues. So he was just holding me off. I could just go 1-2 seconds quicker. Yeah, I tried everything, but the GT4 is like on the brake, he's like a lot better. So I overtook him 2 times on the Parabolica. He overtook me after it again, but I don't know. it's sad that something happens between old teammates, you know, and they were racing like with no one in class. And yeah, I can't understand that. We had a little fire on the wheel and on the brake there, on the front left, but nothing more, I hope.
Unfortunately, the damage is more substantial and the race is over for them. At the front of the field, it's a fierce battle for the lead. Charles Esplanade, number 85, squeezing all he can out of the Mercedes. Can he grab the lead from Car Collections Audi? Goes down the outside into the hairpin. That's a bold and audacious manoeuvre. There's a bit of traffic ahead of them. One of the Lamborghini Huracans. That is a brilliant cutback, and they've taken the lead. In the TCE division, the lead has changed again. The Leicester Racing team took back the top spot from BBR because the Thai team went into the pits much earlier than the Swedes. 1 hour 40 minutes now. The Audi RS3 LMS needs new tyres and fuel, so BBR go back through and take the lead. This is going to go on all the way through. Staying with TCE cars, the Porsche Cayman GT4 of the British Veluga team is in the pit lane. They've been having a solid race up to second in TCE, but they've got a problem now.
Yeah, we're not sure what it is, but it won't change gear, so we don't know if it's electronic or mechanical yet, so the boys are working hard to find out the issue, but it's definitely gearbox related.
Well, that's the Veluga car back out on track, but it's not up to speed. That gear shifting problem still clearly there. It doesn't look good. That Porsche's just not competitive right now. Leonardis Lucas coming back to the pits after just 1 lap out. Game over after just 58 laps. Things going to plan for Phoenix Racing. After qualifying and a conservative start, the team now making their way back up into the leading group. Elliot Earhart going past Bas Schuten in the GR Motorsport BMW M6. That's 6th position for Phoenix now. We've seen this manoeuvre before from Phoenix. This time Sven Herberger overtaking Jonas Gelsinis in the Jutta Racing Audi. Now up to 2nd position.
We are a very good competitive team here in Phoenix Racing, and I think we have a right strategy now for today, and we will see how it works out for tomorrow. I think everyone is planning in advance what happened now, what happened next, and when is the Code 60 window open. It's all things what you need to consider, and in the end it's really nice to do the strategy and talk with the people, the engineers, and also present own ideas. I like that.
Leading, it's the number 85 CP Racing, but look who's behind him. Herberger has been putting in some phenomenal lap times. He's hot on the heels of the American, pulling to the inside, comes out of the slipstream and down the inside, and that's the Phoenix Racing Audi in the lead after 83 laps. Signs of life from Team Vortex. 2 hours of incredibly hard work in the garage, and the mechanics are sending the car back into the race. Of course, they're now well down at the field, but the spirit of the team is true. Hashtag this is endurance racing. Hopefully the last incident for the team in Hockenheim. Enjoy the race, lads. CP Racing have cycled back to the lead after pit stops for the leading group. They're playing their experience card, aren't they? Staying calm, staying out of trouble. Consistent, fast lap times. It's time for their next pit stop, though. Here they come, new tyres, new driver, and everything as quick as possible. The pit crew playing their part here.
Well, it felt really good. I mean, it's kind of hot, so that's working everybody quite a bit. I mean, it's beautiful conditions, so really, it sort of reminds us of racing in Florida. The heat on the track is definitely changing by the hour, by the minute. You can feel it in the grip of the tires. So I think lap times will go up, go down, kind of depending on how strong that sun stays.
Perfect tyre management for Phoenix Audi's Pierre Caffer. Keeping the tyres underneath him. The Hankooks allowing him to do super quick lap times. He's 1 to 2 to 3 seconds faster than anyone else. Now his margin is 1 minute and growing. Code 60 for the 105 GSR Motorsport VW Golf. That means after a lot of hot racing, we can cool down a little bit, and we'll see the class leaders coming into the pits for refreshment. In GTX, Leipert Motorsport in first, the Lamborghini needing new tyres and brake discs as well. That's quite early in the race for these replacements. Is the heat really such a factor?
I'm almost died in the car. The temperature is too high inside the Lambo. So after 1 hour, and my energy start to going down, and I'll start going tired. And the crew forgot to put the water inside the bottom in my first day, so I'm a little bit hydrated. It's because usually I can do with this car like 2 hours, like 2 stand. But today the temperature is high and there's no water, so I was like almost died. Yeah.
With Leipert Motorsport in the pits, RD Sainz now lead in GTX, running the second Lamborghini. Hopefully their Lambo is staying cool. Well, we'll take a breath and have a closer look at the standings after a third of the race. Phoenix Racing ahead of Jutta Racing, first and second. Third place for CP, fourth. What was the pole sitter, Car Collection Motorsport with the Audi. Fifth, the first Porsche of Red Camel Jordan.nl. Red Ant Racing in sixth. In seventh, the second Red Ant Racing Porsche. Eighth is JR Motorsports BMW. More trouble for Team Vortex. I can't believe how much bad luck this team has had. What I do know, though, is the passion of everybody in their garage will try and get the car back on track. Two Audis battling on track. Julius Adamavicius of Jutta Racing has been hunting down Michael Doppelmayr of the Phoenix Racing 18. It's not Michael's battle. Adamavicius is quicker. He goes through and starts to pull away. The TCE division has been dominated by Team BBR in the 159 Cupra, with the 4 Thai racers masterfully leading the pack for almost 100 laps.
Actually, we plan to be like in the front today, so yeah, as I said, it's like a plan.
BBR already 2 laps ahead of the Holmgard Motorsport team. However, chapeau to the Danes. This is a brand new car. Remarkable run for them. In the hard-fought 992 class, it's the Breukers family setting the pace. They've run a faultless race so far. Ivo and his sons Rick and Luke are cruising towards the checkered flag on day 1. 3 laps back to Red Ant Racing in second. Drama for their nearest opponent, Red Ant Racing. A punctured left rear on the Porsche. Now it's going to be really tough to beat the Breukers here in Hockenheim. Still more than 6 hours to go, though. Everything's possible, and that's the fascination of endurance racing. Good pit stop strategy from Phoenix Racing has put them back in the lead overall, but they're being attacked by Jutta Racing in the 71 Audi. The question now is, who has the best strategy in regards to tyre and fuel management to stay on the lead lap? That's crucial for the rest of the race tomorrow. Max Edelhoff for Car Collection Motorsport, right in behind the AMG of CP Racing and Charles Putman. He goes down the inside. They're both well in the game, and that's now third for Car Collection. At the front of the field, Adamavicius not giving up. He's battling behind the Phoenix Audi. Now, will he try very hard? He knows there's a pit stop coming for that black and yellow car, and there it is. Clear strategy here from Jutta. Don't take any unnecessary risks, and they're back in the lead again. Phoenix in the pit lane at the moment, and even if they do a brilliant pit stop, they will fall off the lead lap. But they'll have new tyres and a full tank of fuel for tomorrow's restart. Remember, you're not allowed to work on the cars during the night, not even fueling or changing the tyres. So now it's Car Collection Motorsport in second. But they'll take over the lead because Jutta Racing have to come into the pits. They're running out of fuel. It's looking pretty easy for Team BBR. They're in cruise mode at the head of the TCE division. Difficult to believe that anyone could snatch the victory for them in the 6 hours of tomorrow. Who knows, though? Only half the distance is done and dusted right now. Second place, Lestrup Racing. The Swedes have pushed the Danish Holmgard Racing team back to third. And the new overall leader, Car Collection Motorsport, coming through and putting a lap on them. The calm, level-headed tactics of CP Racing has worked perfectly. Just minutes before the end of the first part of the race, they're in second, but more importantly, they're still on the lead lap. That's not the case for Jutta Racing. After their late pit stop, they've fallen off the lead lap. This is really important because the gaps between teams on the same lap disappear at the restart tomorrow. So the first two teams start side by side. Car Collection Motorsport still in the lead and full of anticipation for tomorrow's restart. Oh, unbelievable. Every time we see a car off track, it seems to be the Vortex. Another Code 60 with just a few minutes to go before the end of the race today. We will finish under the purple flags. After the first 6 hours on day one, Car Collection Motorsport leads CP Racing in second. And crucially, both are on the lead lap. One lap behind Jutta Racing in third, Phoenix Racing in fourth. In fifth, it's Red Camel Jordan.nl. Sixth, Red Ant Racing. The second Red Ant Racing team is seventh. And rounding up the top eight, the BMW of JR Motorsport. No major changes in TCE. BBR's Cupra is comfortably in the lead from Lestrup in second and Holmgard Motorsport in third. So that's been a great day of racing for the first 6 hours. 188 laps, 7 different leaders, various spins and collisions, a few Code 60s, some great fierce battle for positions, flawless pit stops, masterful repairs of minor or major damages and failures, and lap after lap of full speed and full concentration. And more to come tomorrow. Time for the grand finale. It's Sunday and another 6 grueling hours are ahead of the cars, teams and drivers. Nothing decided yet, and all that hard work from the last couple of days could be gone in a flash if just one tiny detail doesn't work properly. Now remember, no work allowed on the cars overnight. The regulations say no refueling either, and any violation of that, 10-lap penalty is applied. Cars are on the formation lap, and it's almost time for the green flag. Quick reminder, Car Collection Motorsport and CP Racing on the lead lap, Jutta Racing and Phoenix behind them and a full lap behind. Everything's been laid out. The battle for the title this weekend can continue. Warm-up lap completed. Cars beginning to file onto the start-finish straight. Let's wait for the red lights and the race to restart this Sunday morning. The last 6 hours begins right now. Charles Esplanade in the AMG. Coming round the outside, our right as we look at it. That's a lovely manoeuvre into the Nord curve, and he's gone through into the lead. That is fantastic. Elliot Earhart for Phoenix Racing has gone by as well. Earhart trying to get back that one lap. Remember that he has a deficit of the Edelhoff and Esplanade car. JR Motorsport, Jutta Racing going through there as well. That is not the start that Edelhoff wanted. And behind that, everything seemed to be going well. Edelhoff now has a bit of ground to make up. Down at the hairpin, first lap after the restart. The Phoenix Audi is right up with the leader, but remember, he's a lap behind and about a car's length at the moment. Elliot Earhart wants to get through, get back on the lead lap, and see if their strategy plays out. In the midfield, it's very tight indeed, and there's been contact for the 928. That's the Porsche of NKPP by HRT Performance. The leader is CP Racing, and that AMG, a lap and a few car lengths behind still Earhart, but he's closing in. Esplanade driving really well. He's pulling out on the second place overall car. 4 laps in. Now, is this the time? Elliot Earhart has a chance. Very late on the brakes and goes down the inside. So that's Phoenix back on the lead lap. Now, all the teams that didn't take the late pit stop yesterday have to come to the pits early today. Red Camel Jordan.nl among them. Full service for them. And also into the pit lane, second place Car Collection Motorsport. That's going to be a full service stop too. So for now, it's a comfortable lead for CP Racing. But remember, they have their first pit stop of today to come soon too. Team BBR have picked up where they left off yesterday. It's one quick lap after another. If they continue like this, there'll be no doubt at all who'll be winning in TCE division. Holmgard Motorsport in second. 2 laps down to BBR at the moment. By no means an easy task if they're going to win this race. Certainly not impossible though. Still 5 hours plus to go. CP Racing, the leader in the pit lane for their first Sunday pit stop, which means Phoenix Racing, the number 18 Audi, is back in the lead. Currently, Jutta Racing in second is a little over 40 seconds back. The right tactics are getting more and more important now.
You know, as you know, there's drive times for the AM Plus Silver guys, and obviously the 34 car used Max a lot yesterday, so we have a little bit in the bank with me later on, see what they do. And they're friends of ours, so it's fine. You know, we'll see what they do and how it plays out when I get back in, depending on what they do with Max. So.
Let's get back to GTX. As mentioned, this class will be bringing you lots of excitement and entertainment in the next few hours. Looking forward from the current leader, the 720 Lithuanian RD Signs team. 2 laps ahead of Lippert at the moment, and their Lamborghini Huracan Super Trofeo is running like clockwork. No problems for them so far. Red Camel Jordan.nl in the orange and black 993 GT3 Cup car are still leading the 992 class by more than 2 laps and in a fabulous 5th position overall. I'm sure they have their fingers crossed that they have no problems. Drama for E2P Racing. 3rd in the GTX class. They are beached in the gravel bed, and they had been making up ground on the Lambos ahead of them. That's the first Code 60 of the day. As ever, a good opportunity for the leaders to come for fuel and service. CP Racing are in, taking that opportunity. But the Code 60 is not going to last that long. Oh, that's been an unlucky decision for the US team.
They're all gambles. As you know, this is a highly educated guess when it comes to strategy, and it was still a good guess to make based on the information that we have and based on where we're at with the tires, the fuel, and the strategy. I'm sure the times for everybody has dropped down a bit. The Hankook tire is fantastic, but any tire you have to manage in this kind of heat, and so I'm sure everybody is managing the tire. I was too. And just trying to make laps and keep going around, stay out of the pits.
Well, staying out the pits is a good idea, but not going off the track. I wonder what has happened there. Oh, straight back in the pits. Just a 15-minute run since the last time they were in. That's exactly what they didn't want. Now, I wonder if this is a braking issue.
We lost the brake. He had a really soft pedal, did a really good job of keeping it off the wall there, so we're swapping them out. Little earlier than planned, but no problem. These guys are on it.
8 hours done, that's 2 hours today, and a lot seems to have happened since the restart. Phoenix Racing now 1 lap ahead of Jutta Racing at the top of the standings. CP Racing are in 3rd, Car Collection Motorsport in 4th, then 3 Porsches, Red Camel Jordan.nl and the 2 Red Ant Racing team. Rounding up the leaderboard in 8th now, the first of the Lamborghinis, the GTX leader for RD Signs. Now let's have a look at the TCE division for the touring cars. And in the lead, the same picture. Nothing has happened really to Team BBR, and so long as that's the case, they'll be heading to the victory here in Hockenheim. That would be the 3rd win for them in the 4th race of the season.
Now we just keep the position, don't push that crazy, because now the traffic is getting bad, so it's quite difficult. Yeah.
There has been a change in the fight for 3rd place in TCE. The 221 Belgian Zwift Racing team and their Ligier are on the podium as it stands, but they know the competition is super tough in TCE.
It's a very nice car to drive. It's the first season that we drive it. 3rd race now, and yeah, I think we're making good progression in how to handle the car. There's also a new track, so all new things. I think the whole weekend has been very good. You know, thanks to the team, the car is well prepared. We have a good team of pilots. We aim for the podium.
We are running 2nd. We still have the same issue with our gearbox, but we are managing from here and lowering the speeds. We could go faster, but then we would kill everything. So we manage our speeds, and then we try to do some strategic things from in here to help the drivers, help the team to come to the podium. So I think this race is a part of fantastic drivers, but also a fantastic crew.
3.5 hours to go, and Phoenix Racing still in the lead. Sven Herberger is round about 1 to 2 seconds faster than everyone else at the track at the moment. That Audi R8 LMS GT3 is showing its strength and its reliability. Of course, Jutta Racing have the same type of Audi racing car, but they are losing precious ground at the moment. That coveted victory is just getting further away. Can the 34 Car Collection Motorsport close the gap to the Lithuanians? Oh, now this is going to make things interesting. The 105 GSR Golf TCR car has stopped at the Nord Curve right at the end of the start-finish straight. Code 60 is out. But Jutta Racing and Car Collection Motorsport were already in for fuel and service before the purple flags were shown. Now that means they got full allowance on their fuel, whereas if they'd come in under code 60, they would only have been allowed half of that fuel allowance. Here's the battle for second. 2 Audis. Edelhoff in the blue and white number 34 coming up to Imentas Navikauskas. He's round the outside. This is a fantastic manoeuvre and takes second place back. Now, these cars are on the same fuel strategy. It comes down to the drivers now. Can Edelhoff press home the advantage? Fourth position for CP Racing. Their AMG is being driven very hard by Charles Putman, but he's not gaining ground. They've been put on the back foot by that extra pit stop for the brake issue. RD Sainz, Lamborghini number 720, still leading GTX. Lippert Motorsport within striking distance. GTX leader in the pit lane. Oh, what's going on here? This is not a standard stop. It's going back into the garage. Disaster for the class leader. The garage doors come down. The race is over. They've led GTX almost all the race. What a drama. New leader in GTX then, Lippert Motorsport. Under 2 hours to go. They have 7 laps of an advantage to the next GTX car. Surely that will suffice for victory today. The longer the endurance race goes on, the more drama occurs, and here's another one. Red Ant Racing not moving. A second place in the 992 class is gone. Tragedy for the Belgian Red Ant family. A straight run to victory surely now for Red Camel Jordan.nl and Rick Breukers. That'll be a nice birthday present for Rick, who was celebrating yesterday. He's a real racer. He's trying for the overall podium. 2 cars between him and third position. It's not impossible. Plus Line Racing Team, the number 905. Have they got a chance? The 992 podium back in reach. Carrie Schneider getting into the car and getting back on track. The hunt for a podium for them is on. So quite unusually, it's been relatively stable at the front of the field for a while now. Phoenix Racing still comfortably in the lead. Elliot Earhart really put his foot down. Took a minute out of Max Edelhoff. Now it's Sven Herberger behind the wheel of the 18 Audi, and he's doing the same good job as Earhart did before him. Elmer Grimm is now driving the number 34 Car Collection Motorsport Audi in second. Time for him to consolidate second position and bring home the podium finish. Here's a significant moment as the leader, the yellow and black number 18 Audi, is coming up to second place. This will be a lap on the whole GT3 field. And there goes Sven Herberger. Elmer Grimm is not fighting that one. He knows second position is his aim. The GTX class leader, Lippert Motorsport, back in the pits. Obviously, that's a cooling issue, and they're pouring several litres of cooling fluid into it.
We picked up debris, I think, in the second or third hour, and we've got a micro leak somewhere on the left radiator, and so we're slowly bleeding out. Temperature started getting critical, so just went into temperature management mode, and the engineers were in my ear the whole time, Lippert Motorsport, and so just doing laps at a target lap, short shifting, trying to just stay out of the high RPM range, coasting in the brake zone, braking late, but you know, not pushing the engine basically. And I think they just must have added probably 4 liters, 5 liters of coolant. So yeah, it's not a small leak.
Well, what a job Kerong Lee is doing in the Lamborghini. He's nursing it to the finish. Laps of 2 minutes 15 and longer. He's trying to keep that engine cool. The E2P Racing Porsche is still 6 laps back, 40 minutes left. That's going to feel like a very, very long time. Broken cooling system and an overheated Lamborghini engine. The margin is coming down and Lee is back into the pits. More cooling fluid going in. The Spaniards of E2P Racing are getting closer. Can they snatch an unexpected victory today? They're really pushing on in that Porsche. Lippert Motorsport have taken as much time as they can to cool down the engine. They'll have to now get that car back on track. They've got no more time to play with. Pablo Burguera over the limit in the Porsche in his quest for the GTX victory. He was very fortunate not to hit the gravel there. Fabulous run to the end of the race. Burguera has taken the lead. Kerong Lee and the Lamborghini have given everything, but the cooling problems have done it for them. Brilliant stuff. What a battle, and it could well have deserved the Spirit of the Race award, but this has gone just minutes before the end to another truly deserved winner. The Danish Hongard Motorsport team have been rewarded for their crazy adventure to sign on in a 12-hour race with a brand new and untested car. The award, which is voted for by the Radio Show Limited broadcast crew at the event, given to the team that had so little experience of the car, they didn't even run a qualifying trim just to get a bit more practice and a bit more data.
When we got home from Spa, the car was home in the workshop, so we started to work on it and to be ready for this day. It's not because of me, it's because of all the mechanics, fantastic crew. I got nothing to do with this, it's all the guys.
Down to the last few minutes now, and in the 992 class, Red Camel Jordan.nl will take the victory. It'll be Rick Breukers who has the honour to bring the car to the checkered flag in a few moments. Second place will go to Red Ant Racing. Another punctured left rear for those guys, but they're not taking any risks. They can't reach the Red Camel cars now, and they can't lose. Second place. Nice surprise for Plus Lime Racing team, though. Tough battle towards the end of the race. A well-deserved podium third for them. At the front of the field, it's all about Phoenix Racing. Pierre Caffer will finish off this outstanding race for them. Brilliant stuff from him. Michael Doppelmayr did exactly what he was asked of in his stints. And of course, Elliot Earhart was quick as well. Here's the winner of this year's 12 Hours of Hockenheim. Get ready to go crazy on the pit wall. Congratulations to the whole team. Phoenix Racing take the victory here in Germany.
The second victory this year. Last year in Hockenheim we was not so lucky than this time. Yeah, in the end we had a good code 60 and it helps us a lot, and yeah, perfect, huh? Good job. The whole team, everybody did an amazing job. Hockenheim first, perfect. It's my home race here, yeah?
Almost 50% of the race led by Phoenix Racing. Pierre Caffer out of the car. Absolutely right to celebrate. Brilliant stuff. It's been another picture-perfect race by the Thai team BBR. They've finished the race with 4 laps of a margin ahead of second place Holmgard Motorsport. The Thais are back in celebratory mood in Parc Fermé.
Well, thank you very much. This weekend we have a good team. We have a good driver, I think, and yeah, the luck is on us, so everything is like perfect weekend.
There'll be celebrations from all the teams who've made it to the podium today. Here's the overall. Winners Phoenix, Car Collection Motorsport in second, Jutta Racing in third. Trophies handed over and the champagne showers begin. Congratulations to the winners in TCE class. BBR, Holmgard Motorsport and Plusline Racing Team are the top 3. Confirmation then of the final results for the Hankook Hockenheim 12 hours. It's Phoenix Racing, second consecutive win after they were on the top step at Spa. Car Collection Motorsports Audi in second, Jutta Racing in third, fourth to CP Racing in their AMG. Red Camel Jordans take the 992 class in fifth, Red Ant in sixth, JR Motorsport in seventh, E2P Racing in eighth. In TCE, BBR back to winning ways with Holmgard Motorsport in a brilliant second position. Paul Sitting, Lestrup Racing have come home in third. What a weekend in Germany. The Hankook 12 hours of Hockenheim really delivered. 12 hours of adrenaline, 12 hours of pushing to the limit, and the last 2 hours had it all. We saw great racing on track, excellent work in the pits, and well-deserved winners. And at the front of the field, a clean sweep for Audi, who grabbed all 3 podium positions. What a demonstration of strength. An incredible stop for the International Endurance Series. Next up, Portugal and Portimao, and that's a full 24 hours. Day into night into day. Join us there.